Good morning, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. I hope that uh, everyone who gets a chance to watch this video uh, while it's live or when it's immediately posted on other platforms this morning, I hope that you've gotten off to a good start in your week and with your day today. I hope that you have some clarity about where it is you're going. There's nothing more frustrating to your progress than to be traveling without a sense of destination. One of the things that we tend to do is become active, and we confuse our activity with progress. We tend to say that we're busy, so that means that we're working. And if you're working, but you don't have a sense of the end result or what you're desiring to get done, your work becomes fruitless. And so many of you are putting a lot of energy and effort into things that have no direct, specific destination or end goal or end game or idea of what it is you're working towards. It's so important to become aware of who you are and acquainted with your purpose for the sense and the understanding and the purpose of knowing where you're going and having a sense of direction in life. When you have a sense of direction, so much of what you have to go through will make sense to you. If you understand why you're here, what you were meant to do, what you are capable of doing, and you focus your energy and your effort on what you are designed and built to do, life will make sense. You will find the confidence and the fortitude to push through the things that are standing in front of you to achieve the things that life demands of you, and you will feel it inside of yourself. And it comes in the way of this thing called fulfillment that can't be purchased. It has to be earned. And that's something that I want for you more than you can ever imagine, is to find yourself, to get a sense of who you are, to develop a self-image and self-awareness and an understanding of what you were designed to do and the unbelievable capacity you have inside of yourself to do exceptional, extraordinary, and phenomenal things. So I wanted to start out with that. I don't care who you are. I don't care what background you come from. I don't care if you never knew your father, never knew your mother, you were an orphan. I don't care if you come from extreme poverty. I don't care if you were horrible in school in the way of academics. I don't care if you've sucked in the few efforts that you've put forth in attempting to create a business for yourself. I don't care if you've been divorced multiple times. There's greatness on the inside of you. There's something on the inside of you demanding to come to the surface, and you've got to serve it. You've got to nurture it. You've got to engage it. You've got to embrace it. You've got to get out of the idea that other people have the power to set the standard at which you live life. You've got to make up in your mind yourself that you're going to do something beyond what you've seen in your past, more than what you've experienced at any point in life. You've got to make up in your mind that there's something on the inside of you that's worth coming out and coming to the surface. And the world needs you to be great. The world needs you to be exceptional. The world needs you to be extraordinary. Why? Because the world is expecting you to deliver on your design. You were designed with something great in mind. Nobody designs anything and says, I just hope it performs average. Nobody designs anything and says, I hope that it's mediocre at best. Nobody designs something and say, well, if it just kind of works, okay, it'll be fine. Everything is designed with an expectation of doing something at a high level. And you have something inherently inside of you that is demanding who you are to rise and come out and get outside of the box of what people are trying to establish for you. Get outside of the opinions. Get outside of the needs to have the approbation and approval of others and the validation and approval of others. Get outside of all of that and start to look at yourself. Start to get out. I mean, one of the most wonderful things that I ever accomplished in my life was getting outside of the need of being liked, getting outside of the need of having people like me and say nice things about me and approve of me. I early on got an idea of who I was, and all I wanted to do was be me. And that meant showing up in places where most people wore suits with a t-shirt and a cap on, or a hoodie and a cap on. But when I came in being 100% me and 100% fulfilling who I was on the inside. And I delivered on what I came to deliver. And I learned long after, people will bypass the demands they place on most when you bring something of value to the table that makes them look beyond what they're seeing. Stop folding and being what other people want you to be, and losing yourself and never being what you were designed to be. With that being said, the most common thing I engage when people come to me is the question on what it takes to be successful. I get people who want to be successful in their marriage, want to be successful in parenting, want to be successful in their career, successful in finance, successful in entrepreneurship. They want to reach a level of success, and they will refer to me one way or another. And they're coming to me and they're asking, what do I do? How do I be successful? The thing is, success is a standard set by you, not by anyone else. You have to determine what successful is to you. What does it mean to you? How do you accomplish it? But success always requires you to rise at the level in which you operate, you perform, you engage, you understand. It requires you to grow. It requires an intentional growth process that you become what you need to become in order to reach the goals you're setting for yourself that are associated with your particular idea and definition of success. So what does that mean? That means that I see where I'm at now, and I see where I'm trying to go, and I've done an analogy, and I've broken down analytically the differences and the things that are required here, and what I have here, and what it will take to get the thing. See, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So if there's something, if I'm desiring to be a better husband and have a better marriage, then it requires me to be a person that can facilitate that type of relationship. It requires me to be a better communicator. It requires me to be a better listener. It requires me to be more selfless. It requires me to be able to sit down and carry out my role and understand my role and be committed to my role in the relationship as it has been set out between me and my wife. If I want to be a better parent, I've got to understand that I'm dealing with little humans that are looking to me to establish some things. First and foremost, their identity. Second and foremost, a secure environment. Next, a sense of purpose and understanding of who they are and the confidence to live in it. And then I've got to be able to deliver that in modeling, in support, and in words. I've got to be able to deliver that. If I want to be better at finances, I've got to develop a level of financial literacy and a mindset that supports the behavior of the wealthy and not those who function in poverty. I've got to understand all of these things in order to know what it is I need. Well, people ask me, well, what is it? I tell them success begins at the moment you admit you're not who you need to be. See, as long as you're pretending that you're everything you need to be, you never ever truly commit to becoming who you should be and what you're capable of. You're still functioning in an illusion that there is no need for change, that everything you need to be, you're already that, and it's everybody else's problem and everybody else's movement against you that's stopping you. You're looking at racism, you're looking at discrimination, you're looking at all of these external things that are happening in your life, and you're blaming them for not accomplishing what you're capable of accomplishing despite them. That's because you haven't yet admitted that you're not yet what you need to be in order to have the things you desire. You've got to make up in your mind. You've got to say to yourself, okay, this is the truth. This is who I am. I'm not going to wallow in it. I'm not going to embrace it, but I've got to admit I need to grow in this area. I've got to admit I need to gain more knowledge in this area. I've got to admit I need to make more network connections in this area. I've got to admit I need to build stronger resources. I got to be more resourceful. I've got to admit that I'm not the person that I need to be in order to have the things that I desire that I associate with success. So what do? Once I admit it, and I have a true yearning to be all I can be, I will immediately start moving forward. But you cannot convince yourself that you are already there and then expect to progress to do something that you are not capable of doing. You've got to first say, you know what? I could be a better listener. You know what? I've got to read more. You know what? I've got to take some more courses. You know what? I've got to go out and meet more people who are in alignment with what I'm trying to accomplish. I can't do this by myself. You know what? I've got to get out of my sense of pride and start talking to people and asking for help. I've got to get out of my sense of pride and associate with people who are going to know more than I know so that I can glean from them. I can't always be the big fish in the pond and be anywhere near growing at the rate I want to grow at. I've got to find some people that are smarter than me. I've got to find some people who are more set than me. I've got to find some people who are more successful in the areas of success that I desire to operate in. I've got to be willing to admit I'm a work in progress before I can ever make progress. A work in process before I can ever make progress. I've got to be able to sit up and say to myself, I'm glad I'm not who I used to be, but I still am not the man I need to be, the woman I need to be, the couple I need to be, the parents I need to be, and I've got to continue to grow. I've got to continue to place a demand of excellence on my life that says there's more work to be done. I can do it better than I did it yesterday. It has to be an understanding deep down inside that, hey, look, I've come a long way, but I'm not there yet. I've done some remarkable things, but I'm not there yet. It's okay to admit that you're not there yet. It doesn't mean that you have to identify it. You don't have to wear it as a badge, but you need to acknowledge it and understand that this is where you're at, but it is not where you're staying. It's okay to speak with emphatic belief where you're going way more than you talk about where you're at, but you got to acknowledge where you're at in order to know you got to go somewhere different. Now, focus on where you're going. Don't get caught up in, I'm not this. Say, I'm not this, but I'm becoming, and go to where you're becoming. Look at what you're becoming. Focus on what you're becoming. Stick to what you're becoming. Give it attention. Speak it, live it, think it, until it becomes a part of your persona. And then you start to behave like the person you're becoming. You start to think like the person you're becoming. You start to act like the person you're becoming. You start to move with people who can receive the person you're becoming. You start operate with a newness, but you got to create the understanding first that the newness is necessary. Some people are so stuck in who they are that they can never ever receive anything close to the full capacity of what it is they are capable of doing and receiving and operating and performing in. They are stuck in this is where I'm at, this is who I am, to the point that they can never open up to being something better. They're so locked in. And then you got other people that are so in tune with what other people think, what other people wish, what other people's opinions of them express, till they can never truly find their own voice, their own reason, their own desires, because they're operating in a paradigm and a box and parameters that someone else created for them. I've had so many people come to me in the last 3 months, and like every week it seems to intensify, of people that are just broken and tired. People that know all of a sudden there's something inside of them that won't let them rest anymore. They're coming to the reality that, hey, there's something more out there. I haven't even come close to experiencing what's possible in my life. I've been sitting back and I've been living through colorless dreams and dwarf goals and mundane visions, and I'm tired of operating that way, and I know there's something more. And I'm seeing so many people that are just simply overwhelmed by the lack of progress. And the thing is, it's on you. It's on you to make a decision. You know what? There's something better on the inside of me. that my design is indicative of greatness, and I am choosing to live life at the level of my design. I am no longer going to be a substandard performer in life. I'm going to access my potential, and I'm going to rise and live life at the level of my design. I'm going to let greatness overtake me as I pursue a standard of excellence. I'm going to live a life that will be impactful or influential and powerful. I'm going to live a life that will testify of my impact long after I'm gone. That's called legacy. I am going to do something exceptional and extraordinary. I'm going to do what I was designed to do. You know, sometimes I come on here and I talk about the techniques, I talk about the disciplines, I talk about all of the different ways that you have to get yourself together in order to do it. Sometimes you just got to get to the point where you make up in your mind that you're going to get it done. Then you can get into the techniques. Then you can get into the practices. Then you can get into the understandings of the different disciplines that come together that solidify success. But it begins at an understanding that there's more out there for me. I haven't touched the pinnacle of my potential, and I refuse to live life below the level of my design. I'm rising. That has to be something on the inside of you that tells you you're built for every moment that you're going through. Right now, some of you, I've had some people coming in just literally in tears and broken because they're going through some things that are intense. And don't get me wrong, I understand, I've been there, but what you got to do right now is understand, because you have such an unbelievably intricate and powerful design, you got to understand that design is associated with a specific purpose. And when you are operating in that purpose, you are literally moving through these things that seem overwhelming, and it's preparing you through a process to achieve the promise of your design. It's preparing you through a process to receive the promise of your design. And if that's the case, everything you're facing, you're built for. I tell people all the time, there was a time when the only thing I had was to wake up in the morning and look myself in the mirror and say, you're built for this. It seemed like one after another, it was just coming. It was just coming. And I sit up and said, okay, Rick, you're creating your reality. First and foremost, settle yourself so that you're not acting out of fear. Settle yourself so you're not acting out of anxiety and worry. Settle yourself so you lower your level of stress and you increase your ability to make moves and decisions. And then you do that simply by saying, I'm built for this. See, I'm never going to face anything that life hasn't already prepared me for. That's how God designed the universe to work. He designed it that everything that you go through prepares you for the next thing. And so if I get to a moment, life before that moment prepared me for it, and I just have to understand it in order to maintain a sense of calm. I have to be able to tell myself, you know what? I'm built for this. I don't care that I've lost everything. I'm built for this. I don't care that I've lost two sisters. I'm built for this. I don't care that I'm going through this difficult moment with my finances and my businesses. I'm built for this. It can't break me. It can only make me stronger. I'm built for this. When I got through telling myself that every morning, I straightened up my clothes and I dust off my shoulders. I held my head up high and I went out and I put in the work that has driven me to the point I'm at now. And I'm still waking up every morning and telling myself, you're built for this. Get up, put in the work, stay strong. You haven't gotten there yet. You're nowhere close to doing what you're going to do in this world. Get up and go do it. Put in the work and never ever let your situations break you. You're built for this. I don't care what you're going through right now. You're built for this. You're built for the heartache. You're built for the disappointment. You're built for the breakup. You're built for the business failure. You're built for the bad news of you can't get the funding. You're built for the bad grades you got in one class. You're built for having to start over. You're built, you're built, you're built. It's absolutely nothing you're going to face in this life that you are not already built to take. Don't let your circumstances start dictating communicating your expectations. There's so much I teach my clients, but it begins at an understanding that you're not there yet. This is where you are. That's where you're going. Let's look at it. Let's examine it. Let's break it down. Let's look at what this person who is going to do all of this exceptional stuff, what they have that you don't currently have or you're not currently using. Let's look at it. Let's see how it looks. Now let's create it. That's success. That's how it happens. You sit up and look where you're at. You make a decision where you're going. You put it on the wall, and then you get there. It's a time. It's a timed process of doing something repetitively, over and over again, doing what you need to do, moving in it until you come to a point that you are fulfilling your design. I tell people all the time, until you rise to the level of your design, until you rise to the level of your potential, until you start excelling in life in a way that you are achieving the phenomenal, you're disappointing the designer. I don't care what faith you hold, if you believe in a supreme being, if you believe that you're not simply some accident that happened in life, that actually your life has purpose and that there's someone that established and designated the purpose in whatever way you want to rationalize it, then you've got to understand that there's an expectation that goes along with the design. When I look at the human body, just the body, not the ability of the brain and the mind, just the body alone, and the acts of mitosis and meiosis and the reproductive processes of the cell and the cellular reproduction in the reproductive system and how they differentiate to create all of these different realities, that alone, and that's just one iota of what this unbelievable mechanism of physicality is capable of doing. And then I look at it, that's not by accident. There's a design in play. And that design has a purpose. Nothing is designed without a purpose in mind. And then nobody designs anything to be mediocre. So then there's an expectation of excellence associated with the design. And when you don't function at the level of your design, you are letting down and disappointing the design. Put all the religiosity away. This isn't about religion. This is about an understanding of your relationship with divinity and the expectation associated with that relationship. You're not here to be mediocre. You're not here just to exist. You're not here just to survive. You're not here to just coast. The world needs you to be all of you. The world needs you to rise up and live at the level of your design, achieve the full potential of your gifting. And that's what you should be focused on. All of the other things that come, if you're living at the level of your design, money is never going to be a problem. If you're living at the level of your design, establishing unbelievable and fortifying relationships will never be a problem. If you are living at the level of your design, establishing that something that you desire and making it happen will never be a problem. It's when you operate below your capacity that things become problematic. I wish all of you the best. I'm going to get off of here. I'm not going to stay on long. For those of you that are looking for ways to work with me, classes, the book Critical Mass, which is exceptional and it's doing great, but the book is exceptional. I'm a person that reads my work over and over again because it teaches me. And I never fail to be shocked at some of the things that come through my mind at the point of writing. When I listen to my videos or when I listen to the tape of a conference that I spoke at. And I'm speaking at one on November the 9th. I'll share that link with you later where you can go to Eventbrite. But I'm speaking at one on November the 9th. And I go back, it's called the No Excuses Conference. And it's being offered by Body by God. And they've asked me to be their lead off key speaker. On the 9th. It's going to be the 9th and the 10th. And I'm going to share that with you in the coming days moving forward. But the thing is, I listen to myself and it's amazing at what just being committed to being the best that you can possibly be each and every day will do. And I tell people all the time, you know, anybody that's worked with me, and I see some of the people who have worked with me on this thread. Look, it, the thing is this: I tell them all the time, you know, because they say, well, yeah, you did this, but you know, that's no, it's not. I did it, you know, so you know, yeah, I can do it. You got to understand, for me to get to a point to where people look at me and say, yeah, I can see you doing it. I had to fail at it first. I had to get to things I didn't know and be willing to do them and fail at them and suck at it and be laughed at. I mean, I could think of things that I decided to do. When I decided to go back into track in my 30s, I was overweight, especially for track. And I remember having to go out on that track and just look horrible in comparison to what it used to feel like, until I got to the point where people start coming up and saying, man, you've made so much progress in this amount of time, man. And this is in my 30s, early 30s, but still 30s. And what I was able to accomplish is unbelievable in the sense of where I started, but I was willing to be bad at something until I got good. And so it's not, yeah, you can do it. It's, you know, that's you. It's I'm me because I put in the work. In everything that I do, I put in the work. And everything I've become, I put in the work. You are absolutely no different. Your gift is different. Your destiny is different, but your capacity to do exceptional and extraordinary things is just as equal. And you've got to be willing to put in the work. That's where most people come, is they're looking at somebody else and seeing where they're at and not taking into consideration the journey in the process it took to get there. Stop allowing where you're at to seal your doom. Rise up and determine that there's something greater for you. Make the necessary shifts and changes to make it come true. I hope that, you know, what I've shared with you blesses you. I'm going to get off of here now. But like I said, check out the description box or the post box, depending on where you're watching this at, and check it out. You know, there's uh, the book, there's the free session. There's a bunch of stuff in there that you can take advantage of. Let me know and get at me. Just follow the link and follow the instructions. But whatever you do, if you don't get nothing out that description box, get an intent on being the best you can be. And then find a way to make that happen. You have a responsibility to your designer to do that. With that being said, I'm going to leave you with this. I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I'm challenging you to do the same thing. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.